and I think that Drago will join us. All right.
Okay.
I'm going to start with the... Okay, Drago is here. I think, yeah. Yeah, he's there. Drago? Drago? Hey, Drago. No sound. Can you hear me, Drago? All right, so I think... okay, I'm going to start my new topic. Drago, can you hear me? I have no sound. Can you guys hear me? Dave? Jason?
I can hear you.
All right, I think he's going to join us soon. So the topic would be plates, how to put in plates, how to create plates, and then we're going to create some features as we did yesterday on those plates. So on the Objects tab, we've got these tools. Before I start talking about that, I want to show you guys something about grids. I'm going to delete these grids, right? I'm going to copy these columns by certain values, let's say 50 feet or something like this. All right. If I have my model imported from another software like I don't know, Tekla or some engineering softwares, and if I don't have my grids, but I have my objects, my beams, my columns put in, if I want to create axis between these imported objects, you can use I can use this building grid. So the way how it works is you have your model imported, right? Just click on the command and then pick the first point, maybe this point, and then the last point. All right, and it's going to create your grid line where you have...
So you went diagonal there?
Yeah, exactly, diagonal. Yeah, you should go diagonal.
Okay.
Then you just need to get rid of those that you don't need, like using delete axis, for example. And if you want to add axis, you can just do the same thing using this command, add, and put the values that you want. Right? It was another topic, another trick about grids. I'm going to check if Drago have my voice. Drago, can you hear me?
I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
When you lay these grids out and you go to that grid function that you just went to, why does Advanced Steel put your grids as 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, horizontal along your X plane, and 1, 2, 3, 4 along your Y plane? Why
because
doesn't it distinguish, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then A, B, C, D, just
uh,
automatically?
just well, because it's you just need to change that for capital letters, and because that's how it works. I don't know, because you can actually change that within the game, but by default we're gonna see that probably.
Okay.
Yeah, but at the moment, just that's how it works. Just you need to just double click on that and change the labels to capital
Okay.
letter. And
All right.
all right. So Drago, if you can hear me, just let me know, because I'm gonna. Drago, we have no sound from you, from your side.
I think I fixed the problem now.
Okay, it's good. Okay, now.
Okay.
Okay, good. Can you see? Can you see my screen?
Yes. Yes, I'm on the screen. Everything seems to be okay.
Okay. All right, so let's take a look at plates. I'm going to start with plate with center. So you need to have your UCS set up, because it's going to put this plate where you have your UCS. And depending on what you have as your X and Y, your plate will be placed accordingly. So let's say I've got my X and Y horizontal. If I put my plate, I got my plate like this. If I want it to be vertically, I need to rotate my UCS. So it means that I need to type UCS, all right? And then I need to select X. I want to rotate my UCS around X and for 90 degree. All right? So if I do the same thing, this time I got my plate vertically, because I've got my plane, I've got a vertical plane, and I have my X and Y, and I have my plate aligned with that plane. All right? So if you use, once you're using these three commands, all right, you need to keep an eye on your UCS, because they are related to your UCS, and they are they would be placed according to your according to your UCS. All right, so but this one here is UCS free. We can say you don't have to change your UCS and place your UCS, so you just need to click on 3 points. So we're going to see that, but for these 3 items, you need to place the UCS. Let's say I want to create another plate with 2 points, but a horizontal plate, so I need to change my UCS world. All right, now I click here with 2 points and click my first point and my oops. I'll get my snap activated. Click on that, my first point, and there's something wrong with this. All right. Plate with 2 points, your first point, your second point, you're going to get your plate. For some reason, I'm not able to do on that plane, but you just need to click on 2 points. All right. If you want to use this command, you don't need to be to place your UCS. So just click on that 3 points. My first point, my second point, my third point is gonna specify my angle, so I can go towards the direction that I want. All right.
Can you type something in there?
Yeah. If I delete this two, if in this case, because there's no value demanded, because in this case you need to have a reference line.
Okay, so you can't like type in 45 degrees there?
No, not in this case, no. You need to have your, actually, because the angle is not identified for advanced steel. So that's why if you put the value, it then still doesn't know where to go, because you have actually, take a look, you have different angles to pick. So you can go directly, vertically, or you can go like your diagonal. So advanced doesn't know where to go. So that's why you cannot put a value. All right, but you need to have a reference line and then pick the line.
Okay, so you could, if say you wanted it at 45, you could put a reference line in at 45 and then pick that point.
Exactly. And once you have your plate put in, you can change it. All right. So you've got the length of the length and the width of your plate, so you can change it. Let's say it's 2 feet. It's 3 feet. All right. So you can always change that, and once you change that, you can just move your plate where you want. If you want to change that by playing with grips, go ahead.
I just noticed, the first 2 points you put in were on that corner of that plate.
Yeah.
And then when you changed your length, that's the side it adjusted, like the side that was attached to the plate already. It made that longer, and it kept your top where you just arbitrarily picked.
Yeah.
So does it take where your first 2 points are, and then, or your last point, is that your reference point for your plate?
Okay.
As far as length?
No, you can specify that. You have this under positioning. We have justification, all right? Under justification, you can say, okay, I want to have my plate to be, to make bigger.
Whichever side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you can specify that right here, but by default, it takes just this one here. All right, so you can just pick one of these options.
So that does jog your plate around, though. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So the geometry of the plate, the thickness, you can change it here, 3/8, for example, and you can see as I have my positioning on number 1, it changes from one side. If I check this one, it's going to change on both sides of this one. So depending on what you pick, it's gonna take into consideration the side you want to go. Positioning. So this positioning is just like beams. Just go right up. Naming, it doesn't matter. Here on under model role, you don't have to specify the model role because it's not as important as what we saw for beams. Yeah. User attributes. When it comes to drawings, we're going to talk about that. Display type, the same thing. All right, and behavior, exactly the same thing. So the only difference is actually the way how you create the plate and the justification and the position of the plate, the first and the second tab of the dialog box. All right, so let's say, okay, now let's take a look at this option here, polygon plate. I'm going to create the line. I'm going to create a 3 points plate. I'm going to change it to, it's fine. All right, so let's say I want to create a triangle plate here. All right, to do that I need to use this command, but to use this command you need to place the UCS. So I type UCS, enter, I type object, enter, and I move my UCS at the corner of my plate. All right, I type again UCS, enter, I go for X, I want to rotate my UCS around X, and I want to rotate it by minus 90 degree. All right, or UCS previews.
So when I type in UCS,
Okay,
it says unable to recognize command. Please try again.
you type UCS
Yes.
or USC.
Oh, excuse the heck out of me.
That's a common
Dyslexia. Yeah. The Trojans. All right.
All right, so I've got my UCS X and Y aligned with the plane I want to create and another plate, and just use this command, polygon plate. I click on my first point, my second point, my third point, and enter. All right, my thickness, I can specify that, my steel, my material, and my category of my plate A36 is fine. Coding, and we're going to see this length increment, positioning, the same thing, justification. So it's actually what I have. All right, so all right, once you create your plates, you can always use grips to change the geometry. All right, and to change the geometry and to place your plates, to move it around, to make it bigger or smaller. So you can always just use these grips. All right. The other thing is, if you notice, I've got polygon plate for this plate. So what does that mean? It means that, let me show you that, if I take this plate, if I copy that over here, if I double click on my plate, you can see here there's a box to convert this plate to a polygon. If I check this box, right? So what it does is, if I check this box, all right, if I pick my plate and play with these grips, my plate is no longer symmetric, all right? But if I do the same thing, but take a look here, I don't have this one checked. If I play with these grips, my plate stay symmetric. If I change my geometry, it doesn't change the angle. Okay, it's still rectangular.
Okay.
So that's the difference between the polygon plate and the simple standard plate. Another thing to say here is this plate at polyline and polyline at plate. So if I have a complex geometry, 2D geometry or something from my 2D drawings, I can import it into Advanced Steel and I can make it into a plate using this command, plate to polyline. So let's say I type PL for polyline and create something. Let's say I have a complex gusset plate or something. You can always import it into Advanced Steel and make it into a plate using this command. All right. Once you pick the command and select the polyline, on the command line, it's going to ask you to keep the plate or delete it. You want to delete the plate. Just to enter. All right. Yes, and enter. And now I didn't do that. Right. Again, select the polyline, enter, and just type yes or no. Polyline created. Okay, guys, try on your site. It's a bug. Try on your site, create a polyline.
Okay.
I'm having the same problem as you.
You have the same problem?
Yes.
Hold on a second, it's odd. It should work. Plate to polyline. Oh, sorry. Oh my God.
Did you say no?
You should say plate at polyline, not. I picked the wrong command. So we should use this one here because this one is gonna convert a plate to a polyline. It does the same job but conversely, right? So you should use this one. Select the command, enter, and you're gonna get the plate.
Oh, I see. So yeah. So conversely, you can change a plate to a polyline.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I picked the wrong one because they're pretty much the same. All right. So
in the model, what purpose is there in ever changing a plate to a polyline?
maybe you have something. Maybe you have a complex connection created by Advanced Steel, and you wanna just use it on your 2D drawings, something like that. You can just make that plate with different holes and different features on that. You can make it into a 2D geometry and just use it somewhere else. I never use that conversely. I never use the other command, make a plate into a line, but you probably find a useful way of using that. But I didn't use that. I haven't used that, but depends. All right. So
Would it make it easier to edit your plate, like change the geometry of the plate? I see. I mean, there's grips on every plate you select, so you can pretty much do what you need to do there. But
yeah, exactly. No.
Would it be easier to change that to a polyline, then adjust it, and then change it back into a plate?
No. It makes no difference. No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Just a command. They put that. Maybe there. I don't know. Maybe there's purpose of that. Yeah.
Some use for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Create folded plate. Create folded plate. We have two tools. Create folded plate with adjustment and without adjustment. So the difference is if I have a bunch of plates with the same size, right, like this. If I use this command, I use create folded plate with position adjustment. All right, I click on that. Take a look at the command line. Please select the plate to connect to near an edge. So you need to pick the plate to connect. All right, I pick this plate. All right, please select the connected plate. I select this. So you can see I've got my two plates connected to each other.
Are we doing the, which one are we doing? We're doing the create folded plate?
Folded plate.
Folded plate without or with position adjustment?
With position adjustment.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm still on the command because I'm asked to specify the angle. I can put 90 degree or 45 degree. So it depends on what you're doing. So I've got, when I put the value for the angle, it brings up this dialog box. Justification. So you've got 1, half, you can select 1, half, and 0. So it's going to change the way that these plates are connected to each other. And radius, you can change that radius, but you have certain limits. You cannot. There's a minimal value according to your plate thickness. An angle increment. This angle increment is we're going to increment in advanced steel. Let me show you that increment. We saw that we see this increment almost everywhere. Increment is actually the way you once you play with grips, you can limit the way you want to change your geometry by certain values. So what I mean by that is, if I double click here, if I put something for this, let's say I have something like 10 by 6. All right, I've got this 10 by 6 plate, and I want to put 2 inches for my length increment. So what it does is, if I pick this plate and use these grips to change my geometry, it's going to grow by that increment by 2 inches, right? So it's going to be 10, 12, 14, and so on. All right. Okay. The same thing for the width. You need to pick the middle one. It's not going to change that because it has to be because it's not a polygon plate. If I check this one, I can change that from both sides, but in this case I can just change it from one side. So if I change these 2 inches to 0, there's no increment, and it goes just with no limitation.
I got mine to work. I think what you were saying, you can change the yeah.
width? How did you
Yeah.
do that?
I don't know. I just selected the plate again and did that. I picked the middle one. If I pick my plate, it's not convert to polygon. I got like a 1'2" by 1'4" plate, 2-inch increments, and I can take it either way.
Okay, it's probably because of my 2014. Do you have a?
I have ortho. Well, maybe that shouldn't matter. I have ortho on.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, okay. So you can change that on. All right, so it's a question of your ortho. Okay, good. Because I personally, I always use this width and length to change my size because just put a value. I don't play with those grips a lot, but maybe that's why I haven't encountered that problem before. But it's good to be able to do that from both sides.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna we're gonna see this. So for Foley plate with position adjustment, we so we pick the command and pick 2 points, and then specify the angle. And if you want to change the angle, you just need to click on the red line and change this angle.
So that takes 2 plates, makes it into 1 plate, essentially?
Yeah, right, because I have now 1 plate. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you want to delete that, just pick the line, the red line, and delete. Hit delete. All right. Now if I want to fold them together again, I can use this. Okay. Without position adjustment, and select the command, select the first plate and the second plate, and you're going to get the same thing. All right.
So I guess I'm lacking in my understanding of what the difference between without position adjustment and with position adjustment means.
Okay, I'm going to explain you that again. So if you use with position adjustment, this one here, all right, you can connect, you can fold different plates which are not connected to each other, because I got these 2 plates connected to each other. I cannot say I want to fold this plate and this plate using this command. All right, create folded plate without position adjustment. I cannot use this command because they are not connected to each other to fold them together, right? But if I use this command, no matter where you have your plate, you can connect them together. This plate and this plate. All right. So it's gonna connect your plates together no matter where they are. Okay, this plate and this plate, 90 degree. But if I use this command, you should have your plates next to each other, connected to each other. You cannot say I want to connect this plate and this plate. All right? So the other difference is that if you use this command, the edge of your plate, let's say I want to create, I want to move this plate here. Okay, I want to use this command, select this and this, all right, and change this to 45 degree, minus 45, 25. It's not a good way of doing that. I'm going to copy this plate. So if I wanna, if I use this command, all right, once you select this command, you need to select the near edge first, connect to near edge plate. So if I select this plate, all right, for the plate to connect, and now you need to select the plate that connected plate actually. So I select the connected plate, and it's going to move my plates and it's going to connect them to each other. All right, so if you have multiple plates with the same size, you need to use this one. But if you have just two plates and you want to connect them to each other, next to each other, connected to each other, you need to use this one here.
Okay. You understand that, Jason?
Jason is muted, I think. Jason, you're muted.
Sorry. Next door to him, so.
Okay. Did you guys understand that, or?
So one's just connecting it, and one's connecting it and folding it?
No. No. Okay. Let me explain you again.
Because it both says create folded plate without position adjustment and with create folded.
No. If you take a look at the okay, let me give you a better example. Let's say folded plate. And copy this. All right, so I've got this plate, okay. If I use this command to connect them to each other, create folded plate, I have to select my first plate and my second plate, all right, and it brings up my dialog box without asking me to specify the angle.
Okay.
All right, so I need to specify the angle right here by 90 degree. All right, now I do the same thing using this command. All right, create folded plate with adjustment. Select the command, pick this, and pick this, and you can see here it's important to select. I exactly selected the same plates, the same selection order, but you can see here I've got my plate moved to this side because it has to do with with where you click and with the position of your plate that you select. All right, so if I use this, no matter where I click here and here, and I need to just change. There's an angle between these two plates, but there's no movement when I click on my plates. All right, so I just select my angle and I'm done. But once you select this command, depending on where you click, you're gonna have a move, and you're gonna have you need to specify the angle of your plate. All right, so that's the difference.
Okay.
But there's both of these commands will fold your plates, and they're going to create the same job for you, but it's just a different manner of working.
Okay.
If you're sure about the position of your plates, just use this command: first plate and second plate. Okay, same thing. All right, and then you can double click on that and change the angle. 90 degree, 90 degree. And this one is actually useless. All right, so depending on
Okay.
how you want to do that, you can use this. But for this one, it's important where you click because it's going to change the position of your plate. That's why it's named with position adjustment. All right.
Okay.
Create conical folded plate. I'm going to create 2D geometry. I'm going to create first I'm going to change my UCS to world. UCS W. All right, I'm going to create a circle. I'm going to create another circle. All right, so if I want to create a conical plate between my below and my upper circle, I need to use this command. All right, when I use the command, I need to select the contour or a beam. I don't have any beams, so I select, by default I have C selected, so I just need to press enter and select my lower one, enter. The same thing, I do enter to accept C and select the upper circle. All right, it brings up this box. It brings up this box and you need to specify how many sides you want and the thickness of the plate, and finally adjustment. So plate justification. This the number of sides you pick here is important because you cannot change that afterwards. So let's say I pick 18 and I've got multiple plates folded to each other. All right. So first of all, if you want to see those red lines, you need to change your mode to 2D wireframe. Now you can see that. So I have a conical plate created from these two circles. You can double click and change the angle, but it's not recommended. And all right, any questions, guys?
I'm going through it.
No, I'm okay.
Drago?
I'm okay.
Okay. Let's take a look at this twisted plate. So let's say I have a circle. I'm going to change my UCS. All right. I'm going to rotate my UCS once on X. UCS. I pick X. I'm going to change it by 90 degree. All right. I've got X and Y. I'm going to create a circle. All right. I'm going to create a line. And I'm going to trim my plate, my circle. right? So I've got this circle, this semicircle. I'm going to copy that by certain values, no matter. All right, if I want to create a plate here between these two circles, these semicircles, I need to use this command. So if I click on that, take a look at the command line. It works with arcs, lines, polylines, and splines. All right, I've got two arcs, two semicircles. If you have two polylines, it works as well, but at the moment I have two semicircles. I select the first one. I don't press enter. I just select and select the second one. It brings up the same dollar box. I'm going to accept that. All right, it's going to create a plate between my 2D geometries. All right, the same thing. You have a bunch of plates folded to each other. All right, so it means if I delete this, all right, I've got this little plate here. All right. All right, so let's take a look at this set folded plate main object. All right, let's say I have these two plates, and I wanna fold these plates to each other. So I know how to use this command: select. I've got this red line showing up. Take a look at my plates. When I change my angle, let's say 90 degrees, all right, 25 degrees, I have this plate moving and rotating, but this one is, if you take a look, this one stays stationary. All right, because this one is my main plate and this one is my secondary plate. If you want to change that order, if you want this one to be your main one and this one your secondary one, you need to use this command here: set folded plate main object. All right, so what it does is it's going to create this little plus sign on your plate, a circle sign on your plate. So take a look. If I use this command and pick this plate, now there's no circle here showing up. It goes here where I have my main plate. So you can notice here, whenever you see that little circle, it means that this is your main plate. All right? We don't have any folded plate here, but whenever you have two plates folded to each other, you can change what the main plate and what the secondary plate is. All right, so now if I do the same thing, you're going to see this plate will, right here, this plate will actually move. Double click on the red line and change it to 90 degree. You can see here I just changed the order. Let's take a look at this command: check unfolding. Check unfolding is going to show you what your plate looks like once you generate your drawings. You can use this command, or you can use display type, tab, and you see here I've got the same command: unfold it. All right, it's going to show you what you have actually on your 2D drawings. All right, so standard, and the same thing for this command. It does the same job. All right, it's okay. You're gonna get this your plate like this. All right, if you don't need it, just select it and press delete. So, any questions, guys?
No.
I'm okay.
Nope.
So let's take a look at split plates by 2 points. First of all, you need to place your UCS on the plate where you want to split. So let's say I want to split this plate. So I need to have my UCS on my plate, object, UCS, and object, enter. And actually you need to just rotate it. It's better if you just use this word and then use this object. Okay. You don't actually have to move your UCS where you have your plate. You just need to have your X and Y aligned with the plate, no matter where your UCS. If I put it to work, but I have my X and Y aligned with the plate. All right. So I use the command split plates by 2 points. Select the command. Take a look at the command line asking for plate. Pick the plate for 2 points, 2 diagonal points, maybe. And I've got 2 individual plates. All right. But as I have just 2 plates connected to each other, it's like I have them all connected to each other. So if I delete them, you're going to see I've got 2 individual plates. If I want to merge them together, just select the command and select my first plate, my first plate and my second plate, and this command only works for plates with the same thickness. Okay, if you don't have 2 plates with the same thickness, you cannot use this. Split plates at line, the same thing. You can create a line. Let's say a line like this. All right. In this case, I need to move my UCS here.
So can I interrupt you a moment?
Yeah, sure.
When I go to merge my plates together, it says not all selected plates are considered.
Okay,
It's not possible to create a new plate.
Okay, I'm gonna make you presenter right away. Okay, you probably make sure you have your line. Are you using the command, this command with 2 points, or this one here with lines?
I'm just trying to merge them back together. I split them apart.
Okay, so okay, I'm gonna let me make you presenter. All right, so yeah, do that.
Can you see me? Okay.
Yeah.
So I pick this one,
Yeah.
and then this one.
Yeah.
Or,
Because
and
you have it folded. Okay, do enter.
okay.
Can you select because it's not possible to create a new plate because you have okay if you delete that thread line you're gonna be
Oh, okay.
yeah you're gonna yeah
So I
delete
delete that.
yeah
Okay.
now you'll be able to do that.
All right. Okay.
Make myself presenter. Share my screen. All right, so the same thing for plate with lines. All right, so if you have a line like this, you can use this command, select a plate, enter, select a line, and it's going to do the same thing. All right, so let's take a look at this command, circular plate. Circular plate is going to create a circular plate for you, and it's going to create that where you have your UCS. So if I put my UCS at world, all right, if I use this command, all right, it brings up this box, outer diameter, 10 inches maybe, inner diameter, half an inch or 3/4. My thickness, leave it like this. I do OK. All right, it's going to create this plate where you have my UCS. If I want to modify this plate, first of all, I'm going to just move it here. This is my inner circle. This is my outer one, my radius. So if you want to modify the plate, if you double click on that, there's no option to change those radius and those options. To do that, you need to change your display type to exact. All right. Now you're able to actually select the circle. Double click on that and change the radius, maybe half an inch. All right. The same thing for these corners. You can change the corners. All right. Radius. But you cannot change the radius of this one here. You need to change the radius of these corners. All right. So this is the circular plate. I'm gonna just put it to standard. All right. So now let's take a look at this option here, folded beam. It's a command. It's you can create a new beam, but it's like, let's take a look at that. You can create your 2D geometry. Hold on a second, guys. Okay, guys. Okay. Okay, guys. I wanted to I give you some time, 5 minutes, okay, to practice what we saw together, and create a conical folded plate, create something like twisted folded plate. Play with these items, and I'll be right back in 5 minutes. Okay?
Okay. All right, Jay. Which one is that?
Is right there? Yeah. Twisted
Okay.
fold. Yeah. And select the first one and the second one, but don't enter. Don't press enter.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So, do you have any questions, Dave? Any trouble?
No, that was the only thing I had.
Okay.
So I'm good.
Great. You're doing good. Drago, do you want me to make you presenter? Are you?
Let's try.
Are
Yeah,
you?
okay.
Okay. You should just.
I'm going on the wrong screen because I have another one opened. Okay, hold on a second. You got my screen now, but
No,
you got nothing. Okay, hold on
Yeah.
a second. Let me turn off this advanced field that I have running on the side because that's coming on.
Okay. Okay, I can see that now.
Hold on a second. I'm still having a problem. Maybe. Hold on a second. What is this?
So, you don't have a advanced open, do you?
You talking to me?
I wanted to just do what we're doing during the training.
Yeah.
If it's important to you.
No, it is important, but I just can't get. I can't get to my screen. I don't know why.
Okay. So you've got two screens. Hold on a second. So what you have to do is. Okay. You cannot have two screens at the same time. You should follow. Actually, you should work on your model. Let me see.
I don't know. Like I just have a screen saying you're connected to go to training, so I can't get out of there.
No, because how did you get online?
How did I get online?
Yeah, how did you?
I launched through that link that was sent to me.
Okay.
Go to training link for today.
Okay, just do the same thing on your other screen, and you're gonna see, and follow the training. Follow the training on your. Yeah, do the same thing.
I can hear you, but I don't have a screen.
You need to do that on your on the screen that you're working on your model, not here actually, where you have your model open.
I closed that one because I thought that one was extracting, that one was coming, that one was coming first when I was supposed to go on a go to training screen.
Okay, because if you see my screen,
Okay.
okay, so actually you need to have, do you have advanced still installed on this machine or not?
Yes.
So just double click on
Hold
that
on,
and
please.
open up the advanced steel.
Yeah, that's what I'll try to do now.
Just close all of these.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, I'm gonna, Drago, I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah,
Okay, I wanted to
sure, no problem.
take up the
Yeah,
advanced steel and
yeah.
Looks like you need
I'll
a serial
join.
number.
yeah,
Mm,
because I think you have your serial number, but you need to, but you cannot advanced steel run on two different machines. You need to
yeah.
you need to actually to cannot use the same license for two machines.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think I'm on.
Okay, so just to stay on the line because we've got two other
Sure, no problem. Yeah,
guys.
you can move on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. So object tab. We saw these commands. I'm going to show you this one here, which is folded beam. So what it does is, if I create a 2D geometry, and if I rotate my UCS around X, okay, if I create something like, if I use polyline to create a geometry like this, it can be everything. I just created something fast. So if I want to create a plate from this geometry, all right, I need to use this command. I click on that, and once I click on that, it's gonna ask me to choose a polyline, a circle, or an arc. I type P because it's a polyline. Enter. I pick my polyline. All right. Take a look at the command line asking for central point for system axis, your system line. All right. It's all about your preferences. I'm going to pick this point. All right. Now again, take a look at the command line to asking me to specify the start point of my single axis, of my system axis. All right. I pick the same point. Now I go towards the direction that I want. So maybe I have, this is a 10 feet member. All right. So it brings up this dialog box, and I've got this section. So I can change the thickness, and there's a bug in Advanced C 2014 because you should be able to see a presentation of the member you created here. In 2013, we were able to see that, but not in 2014. It's now their developer are working on that to fix that problem. All right, I'm going to go to positioning. The other parts are exactly the same thing as we saw for beams. All right, so you've got a beam. You can do the same thing for a circle, all right? And you can create a folded beam exactly in the same way. All right, so it's gonna pick your 2D geometry and it's gonna create a beam from that. So you've got a beam, you can change the thickness, maybe 2. Maybe 2 inches, maybe half an inch. All right, the radius, maybe it's just 12. You can change everything. So that command sometimes becomes handy. There's another way to create user section. Yeah, to create user sections in Advanced Steel. We're going to see that, but at the moment, it's just a good way to do that. Let's go back to plates. So we've got grating. They work exactly in the same way as we saw for plates. So fit center, same thing, concrete elements. Cross, okay, so let's take a look at these connection objects we have here. Before I get into that, I want to show you the plate features we have here. And we have some other commands left for beams, to modify beams. All right, I'm going to start with this one here, COP. We saw together these commands yesterday. So how to create a COP if I have a beam? It's pretty easy. Just pick the command, pick the beam, and it brings up this box, specify the width, depth, and length. Not length because it's the length increment. Okay, just width and depth. All right. So the depth of the cup and the length. If I want to modify that, double click on the feature and brings up the same dialog box. Cup is skewed. It's going to do the same thing, but it just if you have if you want to specify the angle of the feature, the cup, you can specify that here, 45 degree, 0, 15 degree, minus 50. All right. And X.
So I have a quick question for you.
Yeah.
When you select that beam to cope, say you just want a standard cope on there, which would get rid of the K. So does it know the beam size that it's selecting, and when the numbers come up there,
No.
is that depth to the bottom of the K?
No, because this is just a manual way of doing that. But when we go to connection vault, we have that K value and recognized by Advanced Steel. Okay.
All right.
But not here because it's a manual way of doing that. But we're going to see that there, but not here. All right. So coparametric. If you have two beams connected to each other. All right. you have two beams connected to each other, and you want to create a cup. You pick the command, cup parametric, select the first one, enter, the second one, so the main beam and the secondary beam. Alright, it's going to create that. Here, under properties, we have parametric contour and parametric cup. In this case, we have just parametric cup working. So you have 5 items to change, showing up all with a presentation. So you know what you're changing, number 1. And later on when we start talking about connections, you're going to get the same presentation on the right hand side for each dollar box, so it's the same thing. So if you don't know what to put, just take a look at this with the picture and it's going to tell you what to change. So under welds, you can specify if you want to have a weld right here. Alright, so specify the weld type, whether it's in the shop or on the site, library. Alright, again, it's a connection. If I want to modify that, I need to select any part and go to advanced joint properties. Alright, so you can see what it actually looks like. Take a look at the shorten. Okay, select the beam. It's gonna create a shorten, pretty easy. Just put the value. So if you want to create a shortening, use this. We saw this one here using UCS here. And we have this, we saw together this element contour yesterday. So I'm going to move on to plates. All right. And just to let you know that you can use these commands, all right, for plates as well. All right. So you can pick this command, use the plate, create a bevel. Everything that we saw for beams will apply for plates. All right? Everything. So let's say you have these two plates connected to each other. I wanna get rid of this part and this part. Alright, I use this command, cut an object, select the first one, enter, the second one, enter. So you can see here I've got miter. If I select miter, I just got rid of both of them. If I pick cut at flange, I can keep the one of the plates and web the same thing. All right. All right, so these commands apply to plates as well. The same thing for these contours. So I'm not gonna run through that once more, so just you know how to use them. I'm gonna scroll down here. For these commands are exactly the same, and they do set the same job as these 5 commands that we saw together. The only difference is you don't need to place the UCS. But these guys just only work with plates, all right? Not for beams. Blue ones work with beams, and these yellow ones work with plates. All right. Any questions, guys?
No.
No.
All right. So let's take a look at these options. Connection objects. So let's say I want to create a plate on top of my beam here, all right, and I want to create some holes. I want to weld this plate to my beam, that sort of thing. Let's take a look at how we can do that. First of all, I need to move my UCS on top right here, where I have my my beam. I'm gonna uncheck my endpoint. Keep this one on. All right. I want to create a plate. You can always create a plate. You can create reference lines. Let's say I have a plate by 2 feet. I have a plate here 10 feet, 2 feet from my intersection point between my beams and my beam and my column. All right. To create a plate here, I can use this command. All right. To pick with center, to pick the point, I use endpoint. All right. I have this plate. I want to change it to 4 by 3. All right. Change the size to 5. All right. Now I want to create some holes. All right. To do that, you can use these commands. All right. You can use rectangular with 2 points, this one with center, or we've got many options. I'm going to select this one here with center. All right. You need to select your beam and your plate, both of them. Enter. All right. For central point, if I want to pick the center point of my plate, I type CEN. All right, to pick my central point of the central point of my plate. It brings up this box. All right. So here I have my bolt type A325, grade 10.9, nut and washer. So bolt assembly, if I click on that, I've got nut, all right, nut and 2 washers, nut and washer, and I've got many other things. All right, if I put it to nut, if I do an orbit, you're going to see that there's no washer. Now I have just 1, and now I have just 2 washers. 1, and the first one, the second one. All right, so nut and washer. Hold tolerance 116, you can change it. Coding, invert it, change the bolt, your bolt direction. Assembly location on the site in the field, and bolt length and grip length, you cannot change them. You can see everything is grayed out because they are managed by Greatech Advanced Manager. All right, we're going to see that on the last day. But you can change this value. Sometimes it becomes handy. You can change the grip length increase. All right. So if I go to distance, I've got 2 bolts on X direction, and 2 bolts on Y direction. All right. You can change that. Let's say I want to have one just to see you, just to show you how it works. Now you can see I've got my bolts on my flange, on my web. That's why I get this odd thing. You need to change the distance in order to change this situation. All right, the same thing for the other side. You can change that. All right, so I've got 2 bolts in Y direction and 1 in X direction. Intermediate distance between my bolts in X direction, I have nothing, so it doesn't matter what you put here. And I've got 2 inches, 3 inches, 2.5 inches. All right. So at the moment I have this edge X and Y gray out because I actually have just because I have just 2 bolts. Naming, don't worry about that. Don't change it. The same parameters, user attributes, display type. If I put it on, if I change it to off, you can see standard, frame, and solids. If you end up having a large model with multiple connections, it's a good idea to change the display type to standard, or standard is fine because you're going to experience speed difficulties when you move around the model because it takes a lot of memory for advanced steel. Behavior, the same thing. Hole definition. So I've got my plate highlighted because under part I've got my plate selected. I've got a 1.5. I've got a 4x1/2 plate. So if I change it here to W12/26, which is my beam, everything that I change here will apply only on beam, to my beam. All right. So plate, if I change something here, it's going to apply to my plate. So if you want to change the type of your hole to something else, all right, you need to change, you need to pick the part that you want that you want to change. All right, so I've got this plate here. Now let's take a look at this one here, rectangular plate, rectangular bolts with 2 points. It does the same job, but you need to select you need to select 2 points. All right. So if I copy this by a certain value like 5 feet. First of all, you need to get rid of these holes. Select and delete. If I want to create my bolts using this command, select my plate, select my beam, enter, first point, second point. So now you got here the edge distance here. You can specify this edge distance. Alright. The other parameters are the same. Center point, corner point. So it's going to do the same thing just by using a corner. This one, circular one. Oops. So center, I'm going to select my center point of plate. How many plates I have? I've got number of bolts which is 6. I want to have just 3. Alright, I want to have just 4. So you can do that. Radius, change that. Definition. Under definition you can change these parameters which are the same. And for radius you can put it to 1/2 inch, 2 inch, 1 inch, everything you want. Alright. So, but you need to have space, you need to have room for creating these bolts, because at the moment, as you can see, I've got my plate. The best way of doing that is to create a circle and then create that circle bolt on that plate. Alright, so we have split bolt group. If you notice, I've got a group of bolts. If I want to have just 2 individual bolts, I need to use this command. So I've got individual bolts. Alright, you can change them individually. Shift bolts and holes. If you select the command, you can select the bolt and select the bottom flange, and it goes down to where you click. Okay, weld point. So I'm gonna just, do you have any questions? Guys?
No. I'm okay.
Is it clear?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I got my plate on the beam. However, when I edit that plate, I don't have the option to pick the beam. It's only picking the plate. Or when that window popped up, you had the plate 1/2 inch by 4. So yeah, the plate, mine was 1/2 inch by 6, but when I selected that, I didn't come up with a beam. So I'm thinking I didn't put the beam on the plate.
I think because when you use the command, you didn't pick the beam along with the plate. That's why.
Okay.
So you need to pick them together. You need to pick the plate and beam when you use this command. That's just that. That's the reason. Okay, again, select the command, select the plate and beam. Okay, and enter. And central point. Alright, so now if you want to make sure that you have your plates going to, you have your bolts going to your plate, to your beam, select your beam and do an orbit. Alright, if you see those,
it's just going through the plate is what it's doing. so I didn't pick the beam as well.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So now let's take a look at weld point and weld line, add object to connection, and remove object from connections. All right, so let's take a look. If I copy this plate here, I need to put a value because it snaps. The wrong point. Okay, I have this plate copied. If I wanna weld this plate to this beam, I need to use this command, and I need to pick my plate and my beam. All right, the same thing. I can make a window like this and select them both. All right, now take a look at the command line asking for an insertion point of the weld. So you can put it right here. All right, it brings up this box, weld type, fillet weld. I've got bevel and other types. I pick the fillet one, standard, surface shape, or flat, or the other parameters. Weld preparation. Thickness, 1/4. All right, I've got just upper weld. I don't have any lower one. Weld definition in the shop or on the site. This one is pretty important to specify because it's gonna impact your model and your drawings. Now if I make my drawings for this beam, this plate will be connected to this beam in my shop drawing. All right, when I generate my drawing. But if I put it in on the site, it won't go to this beam. All right, it won't be part of my assembly. Display type, so you can check this to get a continuous weld, which is a good idea in this situation. All right, display type, standard, off. And if you have some explanation, you can add that, and it eventually would show them up on your drawings. All right. So now if I come in here on my tool palette and select this selection, pick this selection command. All right, select this selection tool. I've got this command here, which is display objects connected in the shop. All right, this I section with this little house at the bottom. This is pretty handy, and we use that. We're going to see that tomorrow, but at the moment, just to show you how it works. When you select your assembly, your main part, whether it's a column or beam, it's going to highlight all the attached parts connected to that specific part. All right. So in this case, you can see this plate is not part of my assembly, but this one is. So if I change the web location, if I put it on the site, and if I use the same command, you can see it's no longer part of my assembly. All right, the same thing for these bolts. If I change it to shop, you can see now this one is part of my assembly. All right. So we're going to see these commands tomorrow, but at the moment, just to have an idea how it works. All right. Any questions, guys?
No.
No.
Okay. Now if I copy this plate, all right.
Is the laptop on the wireless, or is it plugged into the Ethernet?
If I delete these holes,
Okay.
take a look here. I added this plate on top of my existing plate, right? Let's say I want to extend my bolts. I want them to go through this plate as well. To do that, we have this command, add objects to connection. All right, so select the command. All right, take a look at the command line, select objects. Here objects mean the bolts, that part of the connection that you want to extend. Select, enter, and now select the object that you want to be part of the assembly. And select the top plate. Okay, now you can see the upper plate now is part of my assembly. All right. So you can do the same thing, Dave, for your beam. If you have still your beam not part of the assembly, you can just Dave, you can just do that. You can just, if you forgot to pick the beam, when you pick the command, now you can add the beam to the connection.
Okay.
Using this command.
Okay.
All right, so delete objects from connection. It does the same thing, but it's going to remove. So select, and you can see now I've got my bolts just part of going through the main plate.
Does he have a browser set up? And does he have the proxy set up in the browser?
All right, any questions? Guys? No?
No.
All right, so another thing here,
Let me check on my end.
okay, one more thing is this toggle here. It's a toggle between bolts, anchors, and holes. All right, so at the moment I have this toggle on bolts. You can see here there's a symbol of a bolt showing up. If I click on that, now it has changed to anchor. Again, it has changed to holes, and now it has changed to shear stop. So it means that if you change this toggle, it's going to affect these commands. So if you use this command to create some bolts, in this case, because I have this toggle on anchors, it's going to create some anchors. So let's take a look. Let's select this one here. Select these guys, enter. You can see here, now this dollar box is for anchors. Anchors, you can see here. So I can change my anchor to something like this. All right. So it's important to specify what you have here. This toggle is important when it comes to these commands because it's going to affect your model. All right, so these guys are not really important. So it was pretty much what I wanted to show you. Now I'm gonna just delete these guys. All right. I'm gonna give you a couple of minutes to practice, 2 or 3 minutes. All right. I'm gonna go back and then we're gonna create a small model, and tomorrow we're gonna start making connections. All right. But at the moment, I give you guys some time to practice. Okay. All back.
Okay.
Okay.
That plate over.
Mm-hmm.
And now I want to match. So the plate already has both holes in it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to match holes from that plate to the beam flange.
Okay, let me make sure let me come in here to make you presenter.
Okay.
Okay, you've got these holes.
Yeah, so here's a plate with holes through it, and then the beam flange with holes through it.
Okay.
And then I just took this plate and I copied it over here. This plate has holes in it, but I want to transfer these holes to the beam flange.
Mm-hmm.
So I came up here to switch bolt. So I'm on the hole deal.
Okay.
And then I tried this, but that didn't work. But then I saw that shift bolt holes.
Okay.
Place the reference level of the hole.
No, this shift command is gonna move the position of your bolts. But if you wanna add those, use the command add a connection to add objects connection.
one?
Yeah, use this. Select.
Okay.
Select.
Now which?
Okay. Select one of these holes.
I can't.
Can you zoom in? Because you don't have. Okay, you didn't create any holes, right? You just copy the plate.
Right.
Okay, no, it doesn't. Hit escape. Pick the plate. Do an orbit. All right, it's you've got these holes on the plate. Okay, but if you want to have try something. A question for you: do you want to add bolts or holes?
Well, I guess say I got something in the field that's bolting up to this beam. I just want to add holes.
Okay, if you want to add holes, you actually, I'm not sure because it's because you copy that plate. Let me try them on site. I'm not sure about that. Hold on.
Okay.
Because once you copy, okay. I just want to copy get rid of them, put it to holes, add holes just on my plate, change it to 2 and 2, and change this to 4, 3, alright, and intermediate to 3. Let's say it's fine. I don't think it works, but we're gonna see, because it's not a connection. It's not a, but there's no, because there's no object. Take a look at the when I keep my cursor on the command, it's said that a bolt or a weld. All right, but I've got just holes. I don't think it works, but I'm gonna try. No, you cannot select any holes. You should have either bolts or welds. All right, so if you want to copy these holes, the best way is to recreate that, so selecting both of your members. So I mean, instead of picking just your plate, select.
I'm pretty sure that's, well, maybe not. Maybe not. I thought that's what I did the first time. I didn't do it the first time. I did it the second time when I couldn't figure out why it wasn't putting the holes through the bolt flange, or the bolts through the flange of the beam. But then I selected both, and then it added holes through both, so it put the bolts through both. But then when I copied the plate,
Yeah.
it copied the holes in the plate, and now I just want to match.
Yeah, but it works for bolts, but not for holes, because
Okay.
I've got just, you need to select a bolt or valve. If you take a look at the connection, so if I create bolts instead of hole, it works perfectly. You can do that, but it just work with actually with bolts and welds, not with holes. All right. So if let's say I've got these holes, I've got these. If I want to add this bolt on to the beam, because at the moment my beam, there's no hole on my beam. All right. You just need to select the command, select the bolt, enter, and select the beam, enter. Now you can see I've got these. It works, but only for bolts.
Okay, so I'd need to copy the, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So then when you erase that bolt, does the hole stay?
No, because
So then you just add holes to the beam if that's what you wanted, huh?
okay, if you want to do that, if you want to just add holes, all right, select this command. Put this one on hold and create that using this command.
Okay.
Or there's another, okay, let me show you that there's this command here, add bolts, anchors, and holes. Let's take a look at this connection. I don't get into these connections in a basic training, but let's take a look at this because you asked. Actually, the best way of doing that is using these commands. Create a bolt, and anchor and holes. So we've got this command and this one here. So if you want to create a bolts on a beam, you need to select these. If you want to create some bolts on a plate, you need to use this one here. So use this. Select my beam. Take a look at the command line asking for connecting objects. I can pick the plate. So I say yes, enter. Pick the plate, enter. All right, take a look.
Okay.
It didn't get the plate, but you can change it to holes. Connect, hold on a second. Let me get rid of all of these and just keep one of these guys. This one here. Bolts on beam, select. All right, select the beam, enter. Select connected objects. It's not going to take this plate. You need to select this command to add those bolts on this plate. All right, so just say no. It's going to create these bolts. To change that to holes, you can use it. You can use it like this. You can change it.
Okay.
And here we have more options to specify. You can put it to lower flange, to web, or upper flange.
That's grayed out on mine.
It's gray
For
out.
some reason, yeah.
Hold on a second.
No, it still didn't do it. Okay, can you see me?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I go there, pick my beam,
Uh-huh. Do
and then
do no,
enter.
enter. Yeah.
And then holes.
Okay.
Oh, there, that must have done yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Upper flange. And then intermediate, I have 3.5.
Okay. Can you zoom out to see where you have created those? No, because it doesn't go where you click. Okay.
Oh,
It goes.
maybe it went here
Exactly.
to
It's
my
gonna.
UCS.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
I
Make
got you. So if I just take and move that,
Yeah.
so what would that point? Are you still seeing my screen or no?
Yes, it's
What?
the center point of your plate.
Okay, so if I go to O's, oops.
You can just type CON and it's going to take that center point. Okay, you have center point.
Center.
Okay, center is fine. So you're not on the command.
Ah, well. Okay. Okay, so I'm moving that to there. Please select CS.
Just select one of these lines. No, the lines. Can you see those lines?
Oh, these lines?
Yeah. Enter.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be your Z.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, so now if I go there,
Yeah.
there, or no, my beam first.
Yeah.
No. Enter. And then so it's going to center it on my UCS.
No, hold on a second. It's not it's not about your UCS, it's about your beam, your system line. Because you have your reference on main system. Can you see that? On the second item from the second item.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so if you change it, it's gonna just add. Okay, it's gonna add those bolts from the. Can you zoom out? Just don't change this stuff. Can you zoom out? Exit out of the command. It's gonna create the where you have your start point of your beam. All right. So it's gonna, no matter where you have your UCS, it's gonna create them at the beginning.
Okay.
At the end of your beam, actually.
Right there. Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess I could just take them and drag them over.
Okay. Let me show you a better way of doing that. I just got what you want to do.
Okay.
Okay. If you have a plate here, okay, you want to create create holes on both plate and the beam. All right. You can use this command.
Okay.
Put this one on, change it to hole, and then use this command. Or this one, doesn't matter really. All right.
Okay.
Select your objects. You cannot select because it's bolt. All right. So you need to select either your bolt or your plate, either your plate or your beam. All right. Select your beam. And instead of using selecting your beam, select your plate. Select the center point of your plate.
Okay.
All right. And now you got those holes on your beam. No matter where you select, where you pick, where you click for your center point, it's gonna those bolts go to the object that you selected. All right. So select the object, which is the beam, and then pick the center point of the plate.
Okay.
All right. And if you want to do the same thing for plate, all right, you can do the same thing, center point. All right. But you need to just specify the number of bolts or number of holes.
Okay. So they're like the
Here.
holes you placed in the beam. You can't just transfer those to the plate.
Yes.
Or vice versa.
If you have your bolts, on your holes on your plates, okay, no, you cannot use this command to shift them on the. It can be shifted from the top flange to the bottom flange, but not from the plate to other one. And this command doesn't work with this bolt. It just works with bolts and welds.
Okay.
All right, so the other thing here, so add a object, bolt or weld. So we saw together. We have another option here. So radius and bolts and anchor on plate, not this one here. Yeah, this one here, bolts and beam. Okay, you can do something. Okay, let me make sure of my display tab, feature and feature. Okay, I move this, you're gonna see these guys afterwards, but at the moment, no, you cannot do that. The best way is going to be to recreate that.
Okay.
Create that and copy that. We're going to see how to copy them, okay, using advanced copy. But at the moment, you need to create them individually because you cannot use this command.
Okay.
Go to my all model. Okay. Any questions?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay. Let's create a small model. Use this world. All right. So we're gonna create a model, and tomorrow we're gonna connect that model.
So you want us to erase everything?
No, you can just save it and create a new one. Create a new,
Okay.
just save it, create a save as, and or you can just create that, leave them on your model and use the same model. All right. I'm going to use this command, create 0 and 0. Right. Our endpoint would be 40 feet. Direction of the group Y positive. I have 15 and 15. I'm going to change it to capital letters. I'm going to use the same thing. Direction right here. I'm going to put it to 20 and 20. So we have 20 by 20 in X direction and 15 by 15 on Y direction.
So that was grids with group by distance?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to put in a column, 10 feet column, double 12 by 26 is fine. Can change the size. I'm going to copy this column to change this one to the wireframe. All right, I'm going to copy one of these column to this corner. I'm going to change it to 20 feet. So I add just 10 feet. All right, and copy that to other locations. Make sure you have the model role specified. I forgot to specify the model role. So it has to be column. So select them all and identify the model role, then select those columns. All right. I want to create my beams. I go here to here, put it to middle top, and change this one to beam. I'm gonna check my model role and my positioning. So next time that I put in a piece of steel, it's gonna recognize them automatically. So I've got this beam. I need to split this beam. We didn't see that, so you can use split beams, all right, and merge beams. So I'm going to use this command, split beams, select my continuous beam, enter, and pick the point here, intersection point, and enter. All right, so I've got two individual beams now. So use this command, split beam, next to I section command. All right, now I can copy these guys. First of all, before I do that, I need to create another beam in this direction.
Okay, can I stop you for a minute?
Yeah, sure.
This grid thing. I need help with that. So,
Okay,
grids with group by distance.
right.
So, okay, I click that,
Uh-huh.
and then I put 0, 0, right?
Uh-huh, for the first point, right?
Enter.
Okay.
Endpoint.
Okay, for endpoint, put 40 feet.
40 feet.
Yeah,
Okay,
enter.
let me get rid of what I got. This ain't right. Okay. Grid. Add. 0.
0, enter.
40 feet.
4 feet on X direction. No. You should go 4 feet on X direction. Yeah. It doesn't actually matter, but if you want to have the same model as I have,
Okay.
you need to change it, but it doesn't matter. You can just work on that as well. All right.
0.
Exactly. So, all right. So this is going to end. So direction of the group, go towards Y positive.
Distance between, so you went
15.
20 feet?
Just
15.
15 and 15. Enter and enter. So you're going to get your, okay, do the same thing for the,
So I'm good here, exit out of that.
you put just 115, right? You need to put 215. That's okay. That's okay. Just add another one. Just use the command add a exit out of that. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay. And use the command add a grid. Add axis. No, not this one here. And next to group by distance command. Just
Group by distance.
the other one.
So that one?
On the right. On the right.
Oh. Delete
The other
axis,
one,
add axis.
add axis,
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Add axis, click on that. Select the number 1, number 2 or number 1, number 2 in this case, yeah.
Okay.
Enter. And just put 1 for number of axis, enter, and put 15. Another 15 actually, okay. Okay, you've got 3. And so you need to create your Y direction
Okay.
grids, all right. From 1 to 3, you need to create a.
Okay, so
You actually
what,
have
40 feet again?
you actually have your grids
Backwards?
yeah, backwards. They have to be to the other side, but it doesn't matter. Now you have you cannot change the position, so you need to For Y direction, you need to click on first point on where you have your UCS, and the second point would be number 3, where you have the number 3 axis.
Okay. I don't need to enter a distance here, huh?
No, you don't. It's going to be your end point. Okay, the direction of the group. Go to, okay, and just put 20 and 20.
Why is it going that direction?
Because you pick the direction, because you should go to the direction that you want.
Well, I thought I was.
No. Let me make myself presenter. I'm going to explain you again right away. If I recreate that again, okay, group by distance, 0 and 0.
Okay.
Oops. Group by distance, 0 and 0. Enter. It seems that I have problem with steel. Oops. Number 1. Okay. Group by distance, 0 and 0. Enter. 0 and 0. Enter. Alright, doesn't matter. There's something wrong with this. Okay, group by distance, 0 and 0. Alright, I do F8. So endpoints, I put 40 feet. Alright, but now, direction of the group. Okay, I go towards Y positive direction. Take a look. When I come here towards X direction and I put 40 feet, it's going to be my first axis in X direction. All right. Now I need to specify where to go. In this way or in this way. I go to this way. All right. Click. I've got my first axis put in. Now the direction that I specified will affect on other axis that I put in after this number 1. So 15, enter, another 15, enter. All right. So you need to specify the direction. All right. The same thing for Y direction, first point, second point. Direction of the group, I want to go towards this direction. Enter, my first axis put in. And 20, enter, 20, enter. Check these two capital letters. Okay, Dave.
So the first place you went was X?
Yeah.
Right along your X? Okay. Damn it. That was Y. Oh, well. Okay, so now 15 feet. Enter. 15 feet. Enter. And then done?
Yeah. You should.
Okay.
All right.
And then okay, so I'm up here. So
Okay.
if I go here,
Okay.
what do we do, 20 feet?
Yeah. Enter 20 feet. No, you, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let me,
The first time I went along X, I swear I did. Here, you want to watch me? Okay, so here, 0, comma 0.
yeah, enter. So your endpoint,
Okay.
you need to go towards X direction. Okay?
Okay, that which is this way.
Yeah, exactly. And put 40 feet.
40 foot O.
Enter. Hold on a second here.
Okay.
Direction of the group. Take a look at the command line.
Okay.
Right? Now,
So then now I click.
no, now you need to go towards the direction that you want. Y positive or negative. Go to Y positive. Okay?
Okay.
Exactly. Now click. There you go.
All right.
This is going to be your first axis. Now, if you put 15 and 15, it's going to go towards
Go the
Y
way-
positive.
Okay.
All right, but you just put 1. It doesn't matter. Just add axis afterwards.
Can I do that in this window?
Put 3. Number of axes. Put 3. Put 3. Yeah. And change this to 15. Enter.
It goes back to 2.
Yeah, because on the total, go to total. That's why it's easier to add that. That's because you have in here 15 feet. Change it to 30. 30 feet.
Oh.
Okay. Enter. There you go.
Okay.
That's fine.
All right. Okay. All right. So then do it again.
Yeah, Y direction.
0, comma 0.
Hey Ryan, how's it going? Good, thank you.
Endpoint to there.
Yeah, exactly. Hold on.
Direction of group. Okay.
Go towards X positive
Okay.
and click no matter where. There you go. Put 20 and 20.
20.
Enter.
And then enter.
Enter. There you go.
Okay.
You're done.
All right. Sorry.
No. That's fine. It's the
Okay. So
I had
go to
difficulty.
column now.
Yeah. Go to column
Okay.
and put on the column.
There.
Yeah, it's better if you use the role section because you can specify the column height.
Oh, right
Yeah.
off the bat.
Yeah,
I guess I go to properties there and change that.
yeah, you cannot change here.
I can't. Okay.
You need to take the beam, take the column, and use those grips.
Oh, it is a network version.
Ah, god dang it.
Well, you could
Can't do that.
Yeah, just take.
update the server license.
Okay. Do you know what your column height is?
Heck no. I think here.
So that's why I don't recommend using this because
drop
it's a little bit like. Okay, I think your column is
16 foot.
okay.
16 foot.
It should be 10 feet. So
Okay, so I need to go
6 feet.
down
You need to-
6 feet.
yeah, you need to go down by 6 feet.
Now, can I go like -6? Or
No,
how do I do
just peek, go towards down. Yeah, go down and put 6. Positive 6. Or you can just put -6 if you don't go down.
that? Okay.
6 feet. Yeah,
All right. Okay. Now we're just copying.
yeah. Now I'm gonna make myself presenter. You can do exactly what I'm doing. All right. So I use this because I can specify my column, 10 feet. All right. When I put in my column,
The 2014 license also
I'm going to change my position to middle. I probably have beam because I already specify that. Column. Copy this. Here. And here. Okay, copy this.
Have you ever worked on the server? Never. I can walk you through it.
All right. Right here.
I'll tell you what we're going to do. Just temporarily, I'll connect.
I'm going to change my column height here to 20 by adding 10 feet. Right?
Okay.
Select my column.
With the download for 2014 with service talk.
All right.
It's not.
Now I select all three columns
The guys here prefer.
and copy them from this point to this point. All right. Make sure you pick intersection grid snap, which is active here. Grid intersection. All right.
Okay.
Save this. December. Number 2. I hope I got my model. Number 2, number 2. Yeah. All right. So now I'm going to create my beams. Row I section again. From this point to this point, continuous beam. All right. If I want to split this beam, all right, I need to use this command here. You can see here split beams. So use this command, select my beam, enter, and select this intersection point, enter. So I've got 2 individual beams. I'm going to create another beam here from this point to this point. No matter if your beam passes through the column. If I wanna cut my beam against this column, I can pick my beam. All right. I can play with this grip. I can stretch it down. Now, if I wanna pick this point right here, all right, I need to type PER for perpendicular, enter. Now I can pick this point. All right. So I've got another beam here. I need to split this beam, enter. I've got 2 individual beams. All right. I'm going to copy these beams from here to here and here. All right. The same thing for these guys. Copy from here to here and here. Okay, guys. I'm going to copy all these beams from here to right here. All right. So I've got my model. It's ready to make my connections. All right. I go to top view to check my intersections. If I have everything fine, yes, yes. if you move a little bit, you can see it's going to show up if you have your members intersecting each other or not. All right. Don't worry about the interference we have here between beams and columns. All right. Any questions? I've got Drago and Jason muted. Okay. Do you guys have any questions?
No, I'm okay.
Okay, I'm gonna make you presenter, Jason,
Okay.
to just see how you're doing.
Okay.
Okay, you've got your model put in, perfect. So tomorrow we're gonna start making connections. Okay?
Okay. Yep.
Drago, do you have still problem with advanced steel with showing your screen? Drago?
Son of a bitch.
There's something wrong.
Yeah.
I'm coming to your screen.
All right.
Great, you're doing perfectly.
Well, until I zoom up here and then I don't have the right point picked, it doesn't look like.
Okay.
I can move that, I guess, later.
Yeah, you can move that. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
Just make sure you have your beams and columns intersecting each other.
Okay.
I don't expect you guys to do that as fast as I do, so don't worry about that. You're doing good. Just it takes, because you have your endpoint activated. That's why you pick wrong points. Yeah, you pick wrong points because you have your endpoint. Don't turn off.
Okay, so endpoint off, and then what else do I need on?
Center off. Center off.
Center off.
Not this fine. Just fine. Hold on. Go to still snap. Still. The last one. Yeah. Okay, you have this one. Check. Good. Just
Okay.
click on OK.
Okay. Oh,
So you can see your beams are not at the same level. You have your beams like
yeah. There and there. There. Okay. Guess I got a little carried away there.
that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
Just get a couple of beams and columns connected to each other, and tomorrow we're gonna start.
Okay.
We're gonna start making. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
Tomorrow we're gonna start making connections.
All right.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. Great. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Thank
make
you.
it my pleasure. All right, Drago. I cannot hear you, Drago, for some reason. No. I think we have a problem with Drago. I need to call him after this class. Okay, guys, I'm done with today's topic. Tomorrow we're going to start making more connections. Okay?
Okay,
All right.
cool. Thank you.
Okay, my pleasure. My pleasure, guys.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah, bye.
bye.